Здравствуйте, дорогие товарищи! В эфире программа Ushanka Show. Hello friends and welcome back to another episode of Ushanka Show, stories about life in the Soviet Union. In today's video we're gonna watch how Soviet workers used to celebrate 1 millionth car manufactured or truck or tractor. What's interesting about such celebrations in the Soviet Union that they always mention the role of the Communist Party and this great achievement as well as the Motherland. For example, here you see Vaz car, number 2 million, and the banner says «Принимай, Родина, двухмиллионный». So that's like, accept Motherland, or here you go, Motherland was the 2 millionth car. So you make cars not for Soviet people, but for the motherland. And here's another example. So this is 1 millionth UAZ Bukhanka minivan. And once again it says Тебе, Родина, for you, motherland. And on this photo is different occasion, but a similar message. Получай, Родина, первый автомобиль Ижевского автозавода. So that's the very first car manufactured in Ижевsk car factory. And once again it says, here you go, motherland, the very first car from Ижевsk car factory. And we will start with 1 millionth Volga manufactured at Gorky Automotive Factory, Gorky Автомобильный завод, or GAZ, back in 1967. 1967 was extremely, I don't know if you can say, important year in the life of the Soviet Union, because that's the year when they celebrated 50 years since the Great October Revolution in 1917. And in my humble opinion, it was not a good idea to buy any Soviet cars manufactured in 1967, because there was a race to manufacture some nice huge number. So they were cranking those Volgas like crazy to make sure they reach 1 millionth mark. So here we go on Gorky Automotive Factory assembly, and there is your 1 millionth Volga being assembled, which was a great labor victory for everyone who was working at this factory. And there you go, they're driving 1 millionth Volga out of the factory, and huge event, right? All the workers there, and it was stated that this car was famous worldwide and exported to 47 countries. And I'm not sure how many of you guys were aware about this car. Okay, our next video was also filmed in 1967, 50 years since October Revolution, but this time it's in Moscow at a factory called AZLK. Anyways, it's a Moscow car factory manufacturing cars called Muskovich. And this is 1 millionth car as well. The best crews were trusted to assemble this car. And even engines had a special sign. So look at this, right there on the grill says 1 million. Everyone is excited. And right above them, there's a banner that says «Принимай, Родина, миллионный автомобиль». So once again, here you go, motherland, accept 1 millionth car. And this is the main communist of Moscow, last name Yagorichev, who did a big meeting talking about how great it is to make 1 million cars and present it to our motherland. And here's the guy who assembled the very first Muskovich, drives the millionth Muskovich. And they're being exported to 67 countries. And another 1967 video, this one is from Kharkiv. Kharkiv Tractor Factory, HTZ, another project of Stalin's first-year plan. This one was built with the help of Alice Chalmers. And once again, they manufacturing 1 millionth tractor to celebrate, where there's a banner behind the guy, 50 years since October Revolution. And here we go. There goes the tractor. Принимай, Батьківщино, мільйонний трактор. So that's in Ukrainian. Please accept motherland, our 1 million tractor. And now they're talking about first tractor that was manufactured around 1931 or 1932. And as I said, if I remember correctly, it was Alice Chalmers tractors that were made in Kharkiv at that time. Of course, they weren't called Alice Chalmers. So here you go. And they promising that soon we're going to make a 2 million tractor. And that's the modern HTZ tractor. I used to call him Kirovets, but it's not Kirovets. Alright, next video. Now we are in 1969 in Rostov-na-Donu. So that's the town in southern Russia. And that was the largest combine factory, harvester factory in the Soviet Union, called Rossельmash. And once again, it's a 1 millionth combine. And I don't know if it's their own design or was it copied or a license was purchased from somebody else. So there's the workers assembling 1 millionth combine. No safety glasses, no gloves, no hard hats. Good old times. Can't tell you about quality. There was two brands, Niva and Kolos, two combines that I remember during the Soviet days. I don't see any messages about Motherland, but it says yes everywhere. So here we go, 1 million. And always find some veteran, a guy who started working at combine factory back in the old days, and he's gonna have a spiel during the meeting. Okay, now we are in 1972 in Minsk tractor factory. So Minsk was the capital of Belarusian Soviet Social Republic, and they're making 1 millionth tractor dedicated to the 55th anniversary of October Revolution. Minsk tractors had a brand name Belarus, and those were actually exported into United States as well as Canada. And there's a banner that says, "I'm the millionth," and this is 1 million tractor. And they were extremely popular all over Soviet Union in the small collective farms because they were wheeled small tractors, so they were really good, pretty decent quality. There's a Comrade Lenin on background. Of course, you got pictures of leaders of the Communist Party and a large meeting dedicated to this event. And the banner in the background behind was Slava Trudu, glory to the labor. So once again, it's Minsk, capital of Belarusia. And local party leaders, of course. Okay, welcome to 1974 Moscow. Truck factory ZIL, named after Likhachev. Before it was named after Stalin, it was called ZIS. And this is 1 millionth ZIL-130 truck. Most manufactured truck in the Soviet Union, I believe. In 50 years, they made around 3.5 million of these trucks, with slight variations. And this is, as I said, was 1 millionth, made in 1974. In Moscow, they stopped production in 1994, and it was manufactured in different factories till 2010. So here you go, rolls out of the factory. And in Moscow, you go big or you go home. So giant meeting, thousands of people with banners about give us 1 million truck. You got motorcyclists with the banners, so pretty cool. Okay, now welcome to 1978 Volgograd, former Stalingrad, and this is a little bit of a cheating. They celebrate 10 millionth tractor manufactured in the Soviet Union generally. Hey, Comrade Brezhnev right there. 10 millions, hurrah! So it's not for the specific factory, it's generally for entire Soviet Union. They made a total of 10 million tractors. And Volgograd factory, it's a Caterpillar. The entire factory was designed and assembled and shipped from United States, including building, not just equipment, building technology. And they were making Caterpillar tractors here for a long time. They were just called Stalinets after Stalin, but that was a Caterpillar technology. And here we go, they're assembling the 10 millionth tractor at the factory. Once again, no gloves, no safety glasses, and those tractors right there. We're still in 1978 Volgograd tractor factory, just a different video, but same topic. It's 10 million tractor assembled in the Soviet Union, and the model was called DT75, and DT stands, of course, for Dieselny Traktor, diesel tractor. Some of you tractor aficionados, I think that's the word, may recognize what's similar to American model. As I said, that was originally Caterpillar tractors. Right now, this factory doesn't exist anymore. After collapse of the Soviet Union, it didn't last long and was abandoned, and I believe they changing the whole area into like residential apartment buildings. But this is people still busy working, assembling millions of tractors back in 1978. The people with cameras, popular haircuts in 1970s. More modern cabins, of course, compared with original 1930 designs. There we go. 10 millionth grill. That probably will take, you can make a lot of money on eBay if you'll find that grill. And a huge meeting celebrating. Once again, it's a little bit kind of like cheating. It's not their 10 million tractor. It's adding Kharkiv tractor factory, Chelyabinsk tractor factory, Volgograd tractor factory, Minsk tractor factory. At least 4 tractor factories I can think of that were making tractors. And tanks as a side product. Here we go, 10 millionth DT75. And it looks like it's probably winter time. There's the beauty. There's the Soviet beast, DT75. Nice shot right here. All right, now we're back in Moscow. This is 1980 and manufacturing the 3 millionth Muskovich car. That factory also doesn't exist right now. Muskovich cars were not really popular. They were still pretty pricey, slightly cheaper than Lada Vaz, but not as good quality. I believe they were mostly Soviet design. Here we go. There's a 3 millionth Muskovich. That's the same picture I had in color showed in the beginning of this video. So now they even painted it. And once again, a big meeting, local party leaders and factory workers. And this girl is kind of cute. От съезда к съезду ленинским курсом. From the party meetings to party meetings with the Lenin directions. And there's that 3 million Moskvich. I believe that this car right now is somewhere in the museum, in the car museum in Russia. So there we go. Rolling out, 1980. I was 9 years old. All right, 1981 Izhevsk, factory called Izhmash, and it's a 6 millionth motorcycle, which the brand was called Izh. Once again, all these happy people, now they're showing the motorcycle. I'm planning to make a video about motorcycles. Unfortunately, I never owned one, but we'll make one. This is Modern Technologies in 1981 making motorcycles, but at least he has a hard head and safety glasses, so that's good. And that's a lot of motorcycles to think about it, 6 million. I'm not sure when they started making this model. It looks like they're making engine parts. Cast iron engine blocks, I assume. And Izhevsk also manufactured cars similar to Moskvich, also was called Izh. So now they're showing less celebration and more industrial processes here. Yep, there's the engine parts. Very nice. And we're returning to town of Kovrov in 1975, celebrating 1 millionth motorcycle produced there. There was a motorcycle factory. It's a pretty small town in Vladimir region, and this motorcycle model was called Vashod 2. Everyone wanted Yava Java from Czechoslovakia, and this is the happy owner of the motorcycle. He looks overwhelmed. But here it is, a Vashod 2 motorcycle. All nice, shiny, and pretty, and they congratulate the guy for. Yeah, but I believe he worked at the factory and he bought the bike. Of course, you don't need helmet riding motorcycles. A happy day in life of the Soviet worker riding his own motorcycle. Okay, now we're back in Izhevsk in 1983, and this is 2 millionth Izh car. Izh was pretty much clone of Moskvich. They looked really similar, so there's a sign. I can't read what it says, but it's a 2 million car, and that's the logo. And I had a video from like 1993 when how they show, Получай Родина. So here we go, Motherland, receive Motherland, the 2 millionth car. So they showed their industrial processes in 1993, and yeah, there was definitely not really advanced. So similar to what was going on in 1983. So here we go. Station wagon, 2 millionth-ish car. Even got a little band playing music. Pretty jazzy right there. Once again, you gotta have a meeting with the workers and party organizers and the workers, all excited. We made 2 million cars. That's another cutie. There you go. Nice looking car. And ugly glasses. I also had a video on that topic. My goodness, those glasses. I was a victim of them too. There we go. 2 million. Beep beep. Okay, and now we're in 1984 Chelyabinsk tractor factory, assembling 1 millionth ZZ tractor. Chelyabinsk tractor was another Stalin-era tractor factory designed by Americans, built by Americans, and the tractor first model was C60 Caterpillar. And this tractor factory was dual purpose. It had no problem switching to building tanks. KV1 and I believe KV2 were both manufactured at this tractor factory. And of course, there's the veterans all happy about making 1 million tractor. This factory is still in business right now. There's the first C60 Stalinets. But they manufacture diesel engine for Russian tanks. And this factory now under sanctions since Voroshilov right there. So there's a kind of reference to history about, and that's 1 million tractor right there, Millionny. And that's all the workers and the factory. Once again, it's back in 1984. And another fancy meeting, of course. There we go. Winter, Siberia, Chelyabinsk. Okay, my friends, I hope you found interesting this collection of the Soviet-era films celebrating production of 1 millionth, 2 millionth, 5 millionth, 10 millionth vehicles. As always, don't forget to like this video, share with your friends, and we'll talk to you soon. До побачення. Goodbye.